All right, this is test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. How do I sound? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, welcome back to the channel. Cheers. Brought to you by Corksicle Productions. Got a new cup. How nice is that, huh? It's like a kind of got a rubbery, suedey kind of like outer coating. Keeps the coffee hot, which is nice. How's everybody doing? I was just looking stuff up on my phone for this video. Been kind of rediscovering this Ormond Jane fragrance. It's called Nawab of Oud. Anybody familiar with this? It's really very nice. It's got like a green cardamom opening, aldehydes. Got a spicy mid with like a cinnamon and pimento, and then orchids, rose, hedione in the middle, and kind of an oudy labdanum base. This is really very nice. I kind of dismissed this when I first got this. I've had this decant for this official atomizer for like 100 years, and finally got back to revisiting it, and it's really very nice. That's one of the things I've been sampling recently. Yeah, you saw the coffee cup of the day. What else? My scent of the day. My scent of the day. Let's get this phone out of the way. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. Scent of the day is this. This is another one that I'm revisiting. I kind of dismissed. Modern Leather by Aramis. I kind of dismissed this. I thought it's a little on the light side, little fleeting kind of. I don't know. I don't know what I thought about it, but I always do that. I always dismiss something straight away, throw it up on the shelf, and I'm like, I don't like it. And then a couple of months later, I'll pull it out, and I'm like, this doesn't smell that bad. And I'll go look up the notes, and this is pretty freaking good. This is a green, very green, spicy. I don't know. I guess you could call it leather, but it's a very subtle leather in the base, but it's green and spicy. Very aromatic. It's not dense. Leather's not suedey. It's not it's not ambery or labdanum. It's kind of just I don't know, it's a light airy leather. Best way I can describe it. But the green and the herbs and the spices at the top are really nice. I want to say tarragon and something else, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But Aramis Modern Leather, not a beast mode fragrance. Maybe you get 3, 4, or 5 hours out of it, but you gotta like dose it on heavy. But not bad, really not bad. I'm gonna start giving that some wear. Okay, so this is stuff it's been a while. I don't know how many days it's been. 2 weeks maybe since I made a video. I apologize, but that's the way it goes, you know. Sometimes I get into creative flows and I make a video a week, and then sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing on this channel, you know. Um, but yeah, so I started, I guess almost 2 weeks ago. I started wearing stuff as it was still warm. I was still wearing spring stuff, spring kind of stuff. And then I moved into, as it got colder, I moved into some of the winter stuff. I've been doing a lot of comparing. I like to take two fragrances from a house and kind of put them side by side and kind of check out the differentials and, you know, revisit things. And I've been doing that with this. This is, I have two different versions of Sycamore. I have a 2016 version. I don't know how well you can read that label. And I have a 2008 version of Sycamore. And these are both EDTs, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they're both EDT. No, maybe this is EDP. I never thought about that. Did they have EDTs in 2016? Well, I know this says EDT on it. This might be an EDP. It's 2016 now that I think about it. But they're not far off of each other. maybe this one is a little more rounded, so maybe this is the EDP. Well, you can tell I put a lot of research into this video, but Chanel takes care of their fragrances. You're hard pressed to find differentials decade over decade through my experience. But yeah, as hot weather fragrance, Sycamore's fantastic. Couple of other things I've been revisiting. I've had this decant for a while, and I pull it out every once in a while. And registered in my head, I'm not a Le Labo fan. But then I try this fragrance, and it reminds me that, well, I guess maybe I do like Le Labo. This is Tobac 28, and this is a freaking good tobacco. I feel like this is a little bit brighter, but maybe Le Labo's version of Tobacco Oud, which is coming up. I wore that recently. Maybe a little brighter. True tobacco. This is a really nice tobacco from Le Labo. There are a couple of other things. 19 Bays, I think it's called. Bays 19. I like that one. It's kind of a simple fragrance. There are a couple more Le Labos, but not sure I could pay $500 for a Le Labo. That's outrageous, you know. Not that I haven't paid that much for fragrances, but I don't know. Kind of like you kind of play in the sandbox you're already in, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like to dive into a whole new sandbox, and I don't know. I can't see doing it. That decant's lasted me for almost a year, so I've enjoyed it. I don't know that I would turn it into a full bottle, but it's a good tobacco. And this one, I've had this for a long time, and it's a decant that I was given in a bag of decants, and I never knew what it was. I kind of never like. It's called Fenty. Is anybody familiar with this? If I'm not mistaken, this is what's her name? I can't think of her name. She's a R&B singer. I can't think of her name. Rihanna. Rihanna? I want to say Rihanna. Pardon me while I look this up. I should have probably done this before. But I think this is Rihanna's. Yeah, Rihanna. Sorry about that. I've had this for a long time, and I've loved it. And it's just a curious fragrance I never heard of, and never gave it much thought to look into what it's about. I just know that I love it. And this is a Rihanna fragrance. It's a celebrity fragrance that I'm just recently discovering since I've had this decant. Look how it was full when I got it. This is a freaking good fragrance. Really, really nice. Since I pulled it up, I might as well look at it. This is a freaking good fragrance. It's blueberries in the top, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, blueberry and tangerine up top. Bulgarian rose, geranium, and magnolia in the middle. That's a really nice floral in the middle. And then musk and patchouli, Jacques Cavalier. Jacques Cavalier. Doesn't seem to be any indication of tobacco, but for some reason in the base I get a little hint of tobacco. But if you've never tried Fenty, holy cow, that is a good fragrance. And admit, I like berries and plums and dark fruits and stuff like that in my fragrances. So maybe that's what caught my attention in the beginning. But having that so I would consider getting a bottle of that. Like I have other celebrity fragrances. Like I don't, I'm not a snob. I like everything. If I like it, I like it. I don't care. And sometimes that's why I don't like to read too far into fragrances or read too far into reviews. I don't want to muck up my brain with like, I don't want to like a Rihanna fragrance because I'm a guy or whatever. You get what I'm saying. So, okay. I pulled this out. And speaking of not being a snob, I've got all kinds of stuff in my collection that I'm not shy to say that I like. This house takes a lot of heat, and I don't, I could care less whether it deserves it or not. I just know that I like this one. And from one blueberry fragrance to another, this is Bond Number Nine's Bleecker Street. And it was hot. It was hot last week, so I pulled this out. This is a great grassy, musky blueberry. And I'm not shy to say that I love this fragrance. I really don't care what the consensus is about the house. That's a good fragrance. Okay, here's one that I haven't pulled for in a long time, and never gets talk. Never ever gets talk in the community. And this is another house that's kind of doesn't get a lot of love. But and I don't know that I'm a big fan of a lot of the other stuff that I've sampled, but this one's pretty good. This is Byredo's Oliver Peoples, and this is a really good fragrance. I don't. Oliver Peoples was it's an eyewear company, and they collaborated with Byredo to make this fragrance, and they put out all these different colored bottles to match the sunglasses that they came in a pack. And if you ever get a chance to try Oliver Peoples, they're a little bit hard to find. I would imagine they're discontinued, but you ever run across Oliver Peoples and you get a chance, really good fragrance. Okay, what else? Let's see. There's two fragrances that I have always loved, and I've kind of been sampling side by side. Last week I wore one during the day and one at night, and this one is Dark Rebel by John Barbados, and this one is Dark Rebel Rider. And these are, I've said it before, John Barbados and what Rodrigo Flores Root has done with that house. It's nothing short of amazing. Could give them a little bit of a knock for their longevity and lasting power, but as far as composition solely, how good they smell, how well they're put together, creativity, there's nothing like John Barbados fragrances out there. I'm a huge fan. I have a ton of these fragrances in my collection, and I don't know, one of them's a little bit more tobacco than the other. I think that the Rebel Rider is a little bit more tobacco heavy than the other one. If I had to choose, I might choose Dark Rebel Rider. It's a tough call. But I love those fragrances. Okay. What else? Let's see. What else have I been wearing? Okay. I've been wearing these two on and off last week. Day, night, night, day, like 2 days in a row. These are super slept on. People that know about them, but these are two of my favorite fragrances in my collection. You can see the dents I put on them. This one is Fortitude by Robert Graham, and this one is Valor by Robert Graham. And these two fragrances kick ass, and if they get any lower, I might have to go after backups. And they have these travel sets with like refills in them. Seriously considered. I saw them on Fragrance Buy or Fragrance Net, where they have the the official atomizers, and they have like refills that you can buy for like a really good price. I think like $12 for the set or something. I was seriously considering buying those just to have as backups to these, but Fortitude and I don't know. I'm on the fence. Might have to give the nod to Fortitude, and I need to see what Courage is all about. I heard it's not as good as these two, but I'm gonna hold out judgment until I put my nose on it. I think Courage is a vodka fragrance. The only other vodka fragrance that I'm aware of is Ungaro 3, which has kind of an Ungaro kind of a vodka vibe, and I kind of like that fragrance, so I can't see why I wouldn't like Courage. Okay, what else? Let's see. Uh, okay, it started to get colder as the week went on, and so I started to reach for some of my. I've been in a tobacco mood lately for some reason, and so I've been rummaging around my collection looking for tobacco fragrances, and I put this on and reminded myself just how beautiful this fragrance is. Tobacco and honey. It's just Shergi. Shergi is like one of a kind. You can't beat it. Yeah, I don't have to say too much about Shergi. You guys know what's up. Um, what else? Let's see. Yeah, leather and tobacco seem to be the theme as it's gotten colder. I like both notes very much. Um, and that's what I've just been reaching for with the John Barbados and the Robert Grahams and this one, Pure Leather by Terry Mugler. This is great. This is one of the better ones in my opinion. Pure Chili, um, the original Angel, and this one. Maybe Pure Coffee too. But this is another one that I kind of cast aside because it kind of fell straight in line with. I got all of these angels, all these amens, almost at the same time. And if you run through these real quick and smell them, very close. The DNA is so strong in this house that it's hard to differentiate between pure coffee, pure leather, pure chili. Like the DNA is so strong in them that it's I might have cast this one aside too quick, and I wore this for a full day this past week and fell back in love with pure leather. Okay, let's see. Back to tobacco. I wore. Oh, and by the way, I didn't say it. I just jumped right into this video. I'm sorry. I've got a little haul to open up, a little unboxing at the end, so we can do that. And I'm just going through stuff that I've worn, and yeah, this isn't a proper review of anything. I obviously wasn't prepared to do this video. I just started recording. Um, Revisiting this, I wore this a little bit last winter, and I was, kind of like in my head on the fence whether I thought it was good or great. Well, I started to wear this again, and I think I'm at the point of calling it great. There's no more good in my head. I have to switch it to great. Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. It's a killer. I'm glad I got the big bottle. It's a freaking killer. Okay, sticking, going back to leather. Uh, One thing that I'm guilty of, and I'm sure a lot of people, whether they admit it or not, are guilty, is I fall prey to a lot of the chatter out there about houses, about rebranding, repackaging, formulations, and I invest in some of that, and have proven to myself that there's such a thing as reformulations. There's such a thing as being, older being better than newer, or reforms, messing up fragrances. I know that it exists, but I sometimes don't give a fragrance a chance because I've heard so much chatter about it that that I'll just cast it aside. Even if I get it, I'll cast it aside and be like, this is not, you know, um, the all the surges that I have are all in this bottle, and for me, and I have a few in the Palais Royale bottles, and these in the Palais Royale bottles are phenomenal. Well, I got this one, and this is Queer Moresque, and the new bottle. I heard all the chatter about reform. I heard, a lot of people say that it's not the same. It's, whatever. I guess I really just made the decision to stop listening to other people and their, conspiracy theories and, you know, um, make my mind up for myself. Like a lot of the reform stuff, a lot of the repackaging stuff, a lot of the older versus newer. You know, I agree with a lot of it. I disagree with some of it, but I need to just stop thinking about what the hell everybody else is talking about. Just discover a fragrance for myself. This version of Corey Moresque, I don't know what the other versions are like. When I first got it, I thought, it's a little bit scratchy up top. It's a little bit, I don't know, aldehydic or I don't know. Well, I wore this 2 days in a row this past week, and as it got cooler, and from opening to dry down, really got to know it. Like put a heavy dose of it on, wore it for 2 days. This is a great fragrance. I don't care what anybody out there is saying. If this is the only version of Clear Moresque that you get your hands on, get it. It's phenomenal. I don't care what anybody else is talking about. These new packages are, have been reformed. It's not as good as the old ones. Clear Moresque in this bottle is phenomenal, and I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I rediscovered it. And I need to start listening to my nose. As funny as that sounds. Okay, here's one that I've never had a doubt that I love. But rediscovering this year. It's been a while since I wore it, and I love it. And it may be one of my favorites from the house, and it's Tom Ford from Man Extreme. This is, for me, the perfect cold weather fragrance. It's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. Like truffles, figs, plums, fruits and florals. It's got, dense base. Man, this is, I have a backup of this and I couldn't be happier. And if I ever get to the backup and I run through it, I'll get another bottle. That's how good I think this is. As far as the longevity, there's another issue. Longevity, people talk about Tom Ford for Men and Tom Ford for Men Extreme don't last that long. I'd agree on the first, and for this one, I disagree. This one lasted me all day. And just because I'm a freak like that, I reapply later in the day, but it was still solid well into the day, 5, 6, 7 hours. This was still rocking. Tom Ford Extreme. Killer fragrance. Okay. I was kind of playing around with these two. I always reach for this one first. This is Romeo Juliet per Uomo. And I always reach for this one first. Probably because of the plum. But I always forget that I have this one, Oud Est, in the same house. And this one's really very nice. Very nice, herbal, spicy. I want to say nutmeg. Definitely old school. So is this one. This one's old school too, but this one has like a modern sensibility about its old schoolness, if you will. Two good fragrances if you ever have a chance. Oud Est and Per Uomo by Romeo Juliet. I really don't know how to pronounce that house. If anybody knows for sure, put it in the comment section. Pulled this one out to discover it further. I liked it when I first tried it, and I like it even more now. And it's the opening that just grabs you. And it's just one of the most well-balanced and beautiful washes, in my opinion. And this is Sunshine Man. I don't know if I'm holding that up right. Yes, I am. Sunshine Man. Orange, Immortelle, brandy. It's one of the best openings I've ever run across. I mean, it's that good. And the fragrance is so well blended and so balanced. There's nothing sticking out, nothing out of place. This is a kick-ass fragrance from Wash. I'm happy to have this in the collection. And I pulled this one out because this one, I've been on the fence about it. Kind of kind of treated it like a redheaded stepchild. I kind of dismissed this one as not as good as some of the other ones I had. I always stood it up next to. This is, by the way, Memoir, man. I've always struggled with this fragrance. I held out getting it for a long time because uh, I tried the Memoir Woman first, and that's a freaking knockout, that fragrance. And trying this, in my opinion, at that time, after trying Memoir Woman, it was a bit of a drop off. But now that I'm circling back around to this, I'm starting to enjoy this. And see, I have a Amouage Interlude 53, and that's my heavy, dark, heavy fragrance go to in Amouage. So when I go from that to this, there's another drop off as far as like just heavy, dark, um, brooding fragrance. So this one kind of got caught in between me trying other stuff, and I kind of didn't give it its proper due. I didn't give it a proper wear, really sit with it and sample it, and, spray it on your hand at the end of every night for a week, which is what I did. I'm really starting to appreciate Amouage Memoir. Um, it's good. It's very good. Well, it's not good because I say it's good. It's a good fragrance. A lot of people love it. I just didn't up until recently. Yeah, just the way it goes, I guess. I don't know. Does anybody else, does that happen to anybody else where you get a fragrance and you're like, you just get it because you're collecting a house or because of the hype or because somebody recommended it and you just like toss it aside and don't actually like it until 6 months, a year down the road? I do that all the time. Um, all right. Let's see. What do we got? All right. All right. I've got a kind of a package. I unboxed it and kind of unwrapped everything to save ourselves some trouble. First one that I got, this is just a small haul, but a haul nonetheless. Um, I have dabbled a little in this house, and I keep meaning to push further because there are a lot of classics that I want to get from this house. I have two or three from the house. One from a higher end line. I have Roadster. There's a couple other little things, and I've always heard good things about this one. And this is Doomar Declaration by Cartier. And now, in saying what I just said about all those fragrances I was on the fence about, my initial impression of this is, I don't know, kind of wishy-washy. I love the presentation, I love the bottle, but the fragrance seems a little uneventful. I'm not sold just yet, so let's put it like that, and I'll keep revisiting it, and keep giving updates about my thoughts on it. But as it stands, Cartier's Declaration Doomar is a kind of middle of the road for me right now. So I'm sure there are some of you out there that think I'm crazy. You can disagree with me if you like, but I'm not going to give up on checking out more from the house. Okay. Let's see. Okay. As I dive further into the house of Hermes, here's another one that I've had on my list, and this is Hies. And this is just the most modern version, if I'm not mistaken. How did I do this? Okay. Yeah, this is the most modern version. There's a dark blue bottle that's a little bit older. I wasn't going to pay big money for a fragrance that I wasn't really sure about. Keeping my mind open as far as Iris. There's a few Iris fragrances that I love, but I'm not a total fanboy over Iris. This one's pretty good. This has got Hermes quality. I found that, like, even if I don't like a fragrance, like, if I'm not over the moon about it, I found that Hermes's quality kind of wins me over. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, Eau de Hermes and, some of the other ones that I absolutely love from this house. But there are a couple that I'm like kind of on the fence about. But the quality, you just can't beat the quality. The quality kind of pushes you in the direction of liking the fragrance, whether you like it or not. Um, that says something about Hermes. Okay, this is something that's been, sorry about that. This has been on my to get list for a very long time. Um, my friend Eugene has suggested this to me a few different times, and I knew I'd like it, but I didn't know that I'd really like it, and I do. This is Coco Eau de Parfum. I don't know, what are you supposed to say about this? It's a freaking good fragrance. It's as unisex as it comes. I'm gonna rock this when it gets colder. This is a good fragrance. I have to start looking into some of the other variations on this, and maybe even some of Dior's feminine line. I smelled a vintage Hypnotic Poison not too long ago, and that stuff knocked me out. I might have to look at a bottle of that in the future. The person I got this from, I don't know if they want me to name them, so I'm going to leave them anonymous. They threw this in as a little bit of a bonus for the haul, and this is Clinique's Aromatics Elixir. Right off the cap, I was like, oh, wow, it's very perfumey, very, high pitched florals. But I sprayed this on. I sat with this a couple of days this past week, and kind of sprayed it on my hand. And at the end of the night, just really nice. This is a really nice fragrance. I see why people talk about it a lot. Aromatics Elixir. It's good stuff. But I need a little bit more time to call it better than good stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, I think I've covered what I've been wearing the last couple of weeks. My haul. It's kind of just a all over the place video. I hope you don't mind the informal, chit chat. Guys have been giving me suggestions of videos to do, and I am going to start putting some of them together. As somebody just mentioned, a sheeper video, some of the best sheepers in my collection. I put that down in my book. I want to do best tobaccos in my collection for me. Favorite leathers in my collection. Any other suggestions? Anything else you guys want to see? Maybe I might do a winter video. I might do stuff I wear specifically in the winter. Yeah, we'll see. I appreciate all the love. You guys have anything you can teach me about anything you saw here? Any information, directions you could point me in, new stuff I should be looking at? I always appreciate the interaction in the comments. You guys have a great night. Stay grateful. Peace.